Alright, what's going on YouTube? We're back here with some Unreal Engine, and this series, which is a rebooted, for the third time here people, rebooted FPS series. So we can kind of look at our history here super quickly. We've got our How to Make FPS, which was started on, I believe, 4.8 and evolved to 4.9. And then we've got our FPS from scratch, which I think started at 4.9 or 4.10 and finally upgraded to 4.14. And then today we're going to have our advanced AAA FPS series. I still haven't figured out the name, but it is going to be a AAA series, or for, I guess, AAA design and AAA mechanics, and it'll be advanced. It won't be very simplistic and stuff. It will have a lot to it, but we'll be using 4.16.1, and I'll try to keep it up to date as much as possible. So I've already started my engine. So you'll be greeted with this screen. If you haven't created a project yet, then I'm going to kind of walk you through. If you have created a project, you can kind of skip ahead. And just as a note, I will be using the third-person template. But what you want to do is you want to go to New Project. Make sure the Blueprint is selected here, because you don't want C++. Make sure Blueprint is selected. And you'll want to select third person. Now you will immediately say, and I've gotten comments about this before, and it's just a little irritating because I do know what I'm doing here. People have said, it's an FPS, why are you using a third person template? Are you stupid? No, I use the third person template for multiple reasons, and it just allows, I like the map better. It allows for better testing of mechanics, the map does at least, and on top of that, it includes a full body character, which we won't actually be using, but I like the code that is used in the third person template character, and it's good for reference for beginners who may want it, and I copy the code over for movement and stuff, so that's why I use it. So please don't flip out, but we're going to use this, and I'm just going to call it I'll probably just call it AAA FPS. And once again, this is from scratch. This is no paid assets, nothing, like I said, no paid assets, nothing's bought here, and this will be all mechanics. The only thing that I will copy paste code wise will be the movement system, because that's simple and we don't really need to make it more complicated than it already is. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. So I'm going to do desktop maximum quality with starter content. I'm going to create that project. And this leads me into our next point. So while my project is being created in the background, we're going to be using a brand new model for this series. We're not going to be using the UE4 mannequin. Now, if you want to use the UE4 mannequin and re-rig it in Mixamo and use these animations, that's completely fine, but I will not be using the UE4 mannequin. I will be using two packs, two FPS packs, which I've put into one pack. And you can get that pack down in the description. It's called True FPS Anims. And the model is the Vanguard model, and all of these animations look really, really nice. The strafe, the aiming, or the idle for it, just all the animations. Will have a walking animation, we'll have a sprinting animation, and it's all really just great, and the animation looks great. The model is not premium, as you can see as I somehow zoom in on the crotch hole region. There is definitely some low poly modeling done here, so it is not amazing, but from a distance he does look pretty good, and he does have some good features, even though the textures are meant to be somewhat cell shaded, if you will. And we're done starting our engine, but I just want to touch back with this super quickly. This download will be in the description for all the animations I'm using. I already have all the animations, and I'm just going to import them super simply here. So let me open up that folder real quick. Okay, so now that I've opened up that folder, let's get into starting our project. So we don't want to do too much with settings or anything or any of that sort, but what I want to do real quick is in settings, I do want to enable socket snapping, and other than that, that's it. World settings should be popped up for you, but if it's not, you might want to click world settings because we are going to be using this very shortly. So go to your content and right click and make a new folder called blueprints. I'm going to expand the sources panel because I do like having the sources panel. I'm going to minimize it a little bit, but I do like having the sources panel here. Anyways, so what we want to do on our blueprints, or we don't want to do anything on our blueprints folder yet, but I do want to add another folder called player things. So this will be things related to the player. And let's open this up real quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to import all of these. And I'm not going to actually import the animation, but what I will do is I'll create a new folder in here called anims. Anims, if you don't know, is short for animation. I'm going to dismiss this plugin thing because it's not necessary. And I'm going to drag and drop all of... Actually, I'm not going to quite do that. First, I want to import the character. So import your Vanguard. Skeleton will be none. Import mesh imports skeletal mesh. Do not import animations, even though that would make sense because you'll have all these animations. Do not import animations. Let me check that all of this is okay. Yep, okay, all of that's fine. And the rest seems to be good. So I'm going to import all. That shouldn't take very long. Well, it shouldn't, but apparently it's taking much longer than it is. But what we're going to do next is we're going to take all of these animations from our folder, and we're going to drag them in and import those and as the skeletal mesh. So no smoothing group information is found in the FBX scene. Please make sure to enable the export smoothing groups. Okay, that's fine. I don't believe that's going to add any issues to us because I have used this before and I think I got that exact same warning. It's not actually an error, it's just like a warning. But for some reason this didn't go into my anims folder, so I'm gonna put this in my anims folder. And then what I'm next going to do is I'm going to select everything except for the Vanguard. Drag and drop that in, select our Vanguard, export at a time, import all, and that's going to take a moment here. Now, while this is loading, I would like to take this moment to talk real quick and kind of get a survey of what you guys would like to see in this series. I would like to point out multiplayer is going to be 100%. This is 100% definite. Multiplayer will be in this series. I will have features like prone. I will do the crouching. I will do the jumping. I'll do the sprinting. I'll do grenade throwing. Hopefully, that's a plan of mine. I do have this animation in the pack, so grenade throwing is in the plans. Let's see what else. Picking up systems, equipping, picking up items, picking up guns, equipping items, whatever they may be, like armor stuff. If I have that, like bulletproof vests and stuff. So those are some of the stuff that I'm gonna have. So please give me your feedback of what you would like to see in the series if I haven't mentioned it, or if it wasn't in the previous series. If it has been in the previous series, the FPS from scratch, then it will probably most definitely be in this series. Okay, so now we have all of our animations, and these are all the animations that we're going to use for our character. So what we want to do is we want to create an animation blueprint. And we don't have a planet class that we want to use, but we do have a target skeleton. That target skeleton will be Vanguard, of course. And just call this player underscore anims. And we'll open this up. And what we'll want to do is you should be greeted with an anim graph screen. What you want to do, and if you're not, just go over to graphs and double click on anim graph, and this should pop up. What we want to do though is we will want to create a state machine. So a new state machine, and I want to call mine locomotion. Excuse me, I hit the mic stand there. So that's what I like to call mine because it's a animation term and it just kind of just means movement and whatnot. It's just an animation term and it's what I call my locomotion state. So yeah. In here we'll want to add some stuff like our idle, our running and stuff. So let's just add a state right now, call it idle, open it up. And what we'll want to do is get our idle animation. So rifle aiming idle, and compile this and Control Shift S, and that'll save it. And so here we now have our idle animation, and it's looking pretty good. So that's good. The lighting is a little interesting. I don't know what's going on there. We've got some cars and a building in the background. I think this is the Epic Games photo view or whatever you call that. Anyways, forgetting the background. Yeah, so that idle animation looks like it should. No, I don't see any bones extruding or anything that it's out of place. So what we'll want to do next is we'll want to off of this I want to make something called another state called walking, and let's make that walking locomotion real quick. Actually, let's call this movement, because this will include our walking and our running. Actually, I don't want to call it movement, I want to call it walk/run. That makes more sense. So what we want to do is we want to go back into our anims, go to animation, and create a blend space for the Vanguard. Call this walk underscore run underscore blend space, and just open that up here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get let's see, where is it at? Over here. So our horizontal axis and our vertical axis. So access to scale animation, we don't actually want that to be anything, but what we want to our horizontal to be is direction, and then the vertical axis can be speed. Minimum value should be 0, maximum value should be 6. Let's do 1200. Let's do 600 for now. And then the maximum value for this we'll say about 300. We'll fix these values later and you'll see why we'll need to fix them. This should be, there we go, there it's moving. I forget you have to hold shift, they changed this. So if you want to preview your animations, you have to hold shift and it'll follow your cursor around. But other than that, what we want to do is average interpolation 4 and 4, perfect. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get rifle run in place. Actually, yes, run in place, and that'll be direction. Oh, on our direction, sorry, we don't want 300. We want negative 180 and 180. So we want run in place there. Then we want walk in place here. Walk in place backwards there. Oh no, that's crouching. We don't want that. Okay, I had to press the delete button. I couldn't find a delete button or a delete option in any of the menus. Walking backwards in place here and here. And then we need strafe. We'll get the, let's see, strafe left in place here and strafe right in place there. Perfect. Strafe in place. Perfect. And then there should be a run backwards. Prone backwards, rifle. Oh, there it is. Run backwards. Run backwards. And then all of our 0 speed values can simply be rifle. Where's my idle? Rifle aiming idle. Perfect. Now Control Shift S to save all of that and go back to your blueprint and walk run, and we will get walk run blend space. Now what we want to do is right click and promote to variable, call it direction, if I could spell, and then speed, we'll want to promote the variable. Sorry, I hit the mic again. Call it speed. Perfect. Now we want to actually activate these variables and set them to something and make them useful. So let's go to our event graph, and on event blueprint update animation, what we'll want to do is we will want to cast, actually we want to sequence, because we'll sequence off of this multiple times, but I keep hitting this stupid mic stand. I really need a desk mount that like goes over me. If one of you guys wants to buy me that, they're like 20 bucks on eBay. I'll take it. I'll take it any day. Thank you. Anyways, what we want to do is on 0 we want to cast to character, and object will be try get pawn owner, and then from this we want to get direction, if I can find it here, calculate direction. That's it. Target self. Now what we want to do is get rotation, get actor rotation, base rotation, get velocity, and then we'll down here want to set speed, excuse me, get for vector oh man, there's so many vectors, I forget which one it is. I believe it's get vector length squared. I believe that's what it is. And then let's delete this guy. Delete him. And go to your content, go to blueprints, and create a game mode. My GM. And then we'll want to our default pawn. We don't actually have a character set up, so we'll have to get a character set up here. But let's see what happens when we do direction. Oh, we don't have the state entered yet. So what we want to do is we want to get, this is idle to run, so we want to get more than equals to float, more than equals to float. So we want speed more than or equal to 10, compile, less than equal to float, speed less than equal to 10. Control Shift S, and now perfect. And that blends so well. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So everything seems to be working, and if it wasn't working, then or if this code right here was not working, then as far as I know, that this would not be working. So other than that, and I may be wrong, but because I'm not a professional in animation, but that's just a demonstration for how that should go. So if this is broken, if this is actually broken, I will have to fix this in the next episode, because I won't have enough time to fix this today because of how this episode is scheduled out. I've only have a certain amount of time allotted for it. But let's go and create our character. So level blueprint, and we'll want to create a character, and we will call them player. So our player will want to add a mesh. That'll be the vanguard. Want -90 on the rotation, and move it down, so about -80, I guess. Unlock that, and that looks good. Okay, and then we'll want player anims. That looks even better. Perfect. compile. Now what we'll want to do is I want to copy the movement over. So I'm just going to go to this guy, and I'm going to get mouse input, jump, and movement input. See, go over here. Perfect. Nothing else needs to be done. All we'll do except is do player, play, oh, that's right, we didn't add a camera. Although we shouldn't be flying around as of right now. I don't actually know why we're flying around. Let me see if I can fix that very quickly by going into player, scrolling down, auto receive input player 0, auto possess player 0, compile, adding a camera, moving it up to there, use control pawn rotation, and play. Okay, so that's still happening, so we need to drag him in, and we should be good. Perfect. Okay, so we got that going on. Okay, so our speed is not being calculated properly. And so, like I said, I will have to fix that speed calculation in the next episode, but at least our animations are happening correctly. So he is in the running position, but let's fix that because we want to be able to walk too. So let's go to character movement, and then max walk speed should be 300. So now he's walking. And let's put this in a first-person perspective. Let's zero out all these values and attach it to the head, which should be here. Zero this out as well. Perfect. Move it forward. And up. And play. Let's see what we get. Perfect. We've got a nice first person angle. It's not perfect, even though I said perfect. It's not the best. I'm going to be fixing it later on when we add our gun and when we add our aim set, but we do have that jogging animation, or that walking animation, which is nice. And if I increase the speed, I think he'll return to running. Custom walk speed, that should be 300 as well. Right, okay, so he is walking, because I know his sprint animation is much more fast. But it seems to be pretty in line with the steps that he's taking. That's a little glitchy, but I'm sure we can interpolate it a little bit better and fix those fix that through this. But that's all we would have to do. Anyways, that's all I've got time for as of right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button, because this is the new series, and the more likes I get on a new series, the more likely it is for other people who need this information to find it, because game creating is not an easy task, and finding a good YouTuber who can do it, not saying that I'm a good YouTuber, I'm just saying in general, finding a good YouTuber, period, is hard. So if you like my work, if you like what I do, if you think I'm a good YouTuber, please like this video and share it to any of your game developer friends or anyone you know who might be interested in this. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and taking the time to watch my video and getting started. The first episode is always the slowest, but the next episode is always so much more fun. So let's hit that like button and the subscribe button, because that'd be much more preferred. Yeah. And I'll see you in the next episode, I guess. Bye.